Hey, what's up everybody, Wyatt here, and today we're going to be making chewy brown sugar cookies. For this recipe, you're going to need flour, cornstarch, 1 egg, baking soda. Now make sure you don't use baking powder because baking soda and baking powder are two very different things. I have a spice blend here that is made up mostly of cinnamon with a pinch of nutmeg and a pinch of salt. The nutmeg is optional, but you do need the cinnamon and the salt. I have some melted butter, some dark brown sugar. You can use dark brown sugar or light brown sugar. They'll both work exactly the same. This one, the dark brown sugar will just give you a bit more flavor. Some vanilla and some granulated white sugar. This is optional. It is for rolling your cookies in before you bake them, but that is optional. Okay, let's get on with the first step. So to start, we're going to grab a small bowl and we are going to add in our flour, our cornstarch, our baking soda, and our spice blend. So I'll just grab my whisk here, and we'll just mix this up until it's thoroughly combined. Now that shouldn't take too long because dry ingredients do mix quite well. So I'll splatter it everywhere, and then we'll move it back here. Grab a big bowl, and we're going to be starting by adding in our melted butter and our brown sugar. Oh, that came out a lot easier than I expected it to. So we'll grab our spatula. I think I will actually grab got my whisk for this, and I will just move these out of the way. Pull this in so I can get at it good, and we'll just mix this till they're combined. Now this shouldn't take long because, as I said, melted butter combines to sugars very easily. Is not too hard at all. So as you can see, that is a good consistency. So I'm going to add in our, I almost broke that bowl there. I'm going to remove that so that doesn't happen again. I'm going to add in our egg. And we'll mix that in. And now we'll add in our vanilla. Perfection. And we'll mix that in. I spotted it everywhere again. My mom's gonna get very mad. That's okay though. I'll just clean it up after. So we'll mix this. So it's a smooth consistency. This looks awesome. Okay. So now we're going to grab our dry ingredients. Eek, I banged it. I banged it again. And we'll just add these, add part of it. And then we'll mix it in. You'll probably only be able to whisk this for about 1 or 2 sections of flour before the dough or like the batter starts thickening up. And you will have to switch to mixing it with a spatula. So, I wish you guys could smell this right now. This smells legendary. I love the smell of these cookies. Especially when they're baking. When they're baking or when they have just come out of the oven. Oh, it smells so good. So add in some more flour. And mix. Alright. I think we might be able to get this one in with our whisk, and then I think we will have to switch to our spatula. Maybe not even this one. I think we have to switch to the spatula right now. Yeah, this is starting to get so thick it's sticking to our whisk, so we'll just stab it. Just push that off the whisk because we don't want to lose any of this fabulous batter. Now, when you are done with this batter, you can roll it into your balls and then just freeze it, and it will store well into the freezer for up to 6 months. So let's say you have school and you come home for lunch and you're craving something sweet, but you don't have time to make anything, and you just made these. They are frozen in your freezer. You can just quickly grab one of these, follow the cooking instructions, and bam, you got yourself a freshly baked cookie. Awesome. Okay. So we'll just fold this in. When this gets fully mixed, it's so satisfying to just go like that. But remember, you don't want to overwork your batter, or else it's going to be thicker, it's not gonna have the nice consistency you want. So just fold in this. Almost done here. Now, if you do see some chunks of brown sugar, that is okay. They will mostly just melt off when you cook it or get folded in while you're mixing. Or if they don't, someone's just gonna have a very good bite. Add the rest of the flour here and mix. Okay, so if it's not coming together, which it should, or if you feel like it needs a bit of extra mixing, but your spatula or your whisk isn't doing the job, you can always give your hands a good wash, because this will turn into a workable dough. So you can just give your hands a good wash and then just come in here and just mix it like that, and it will come together soon enough. Just a little PS there, so that should help you if it's not coming together properly. So don't be afraid to just go in with your hands and just give it a little bit of give it some elbow grease, because just try not to overwork it. Just want to make sure it's all thoroughly mixed, which I think this is now. I think we're good here. All right, now it's time to scoop these onto a baking sheet and eat them. Also, I did forget to mention, you are going to preheat your oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's gonna just make sure they cook very well. All right, let's do this. Okay, so now we'll just take about 2 scant tablespoons, so just like a little under, what?
Did you just say scant tablespoons?
Yeah? What?
So much smarter than I am. Nothing, keep going.
Which is just about under 2, just a little bit under 2 tablespoons. So we'll just pop this in my hand, roll it around, put in our sugar, roll it in sugar. The rolling in sugar part is optional, you don't have to do that, but I find it just adds a little extra flavor. So let's just do this with the rest of these, and let's eat some cookies. Okay, final cookie. So we'll just put this guy in our hand, roll up. Oh. All right, so the final cookie has been coated in sugar. Put him on the baking sheet. And now the rest of this dough, you can just take your spoon, you can scoop it out like this, and then you can just put it on a baking sheet and freeze it. And then, like I said earlier, you can just cook it up anytime you want or bake it up anytime you want. Or you could also just cook them all now and store them in an airtight container. Or if you've got a big family, store them in your family's bellies. All right, so time to put these guys in the oven. Okay, so open this. And we will put these guys in the oven for about 15 minutes. Make sure to check on them every now and then, just to make sure they're not overbaked. Or if it's been 15 minutes and they're still not cooked, you can just give them an extra 1 or 2 minutes, but make sure you do keep checking on them. Okay, so I'm not sure how well you guys can see that, but if you can see my cookies are really starting to spread. And you can see that they are starting to rise and deflate, which is a good sign. And they are going to be ready in about 8 minutes. So these guys look delicious. Sorry if I'm shaking the camera. Usually I use a tripod. This looks awesome. All right, so we'll just get our last guy out there. All righty. So these guys look amazing. I still need to roll these ones in sugar, obviously. But now, if your cookies are done a minute or 2 early, that is fine. So we're just gonna take them out here. Grab our oven mitts. Safety first. Open up our oven. So look at these. Those look absolutely delicious. As you can see, they're nice and crispy on top with a little bit of sugar. And if you see cracks on the top, that's a good thing. That means they're baked well. And you can see that sugar. If you check the bottom, you can see that they're nice and brown. All right, these look awesome. So I'm going to grab a wire rack and I'm going to transfer these to a wire rack to finish them cooling after a couple minutes of sitting on our baking sheet, so they can just kind of relax and finish cooking on this baking sheet. And then I'm going to pick them up, move them over to a wire rack where they will finish cooling. Alrighty, so as you can see, these look amazing. So let's just look at the bottom there. That looks like a perfect light brown color. So that is just what we're looking for. That is absolutely perfect. So we'll see what this guy looks like on the inside. Feel the top? Nice and crispy. That's what we want, because we want a crispy top and a chewy middle. So look at that middle. That looks amazing, almost like a cake texture, which is exactly what we're looking for. So we'll give this guy a try. Hands down, one of the best cookies I've ever had. It's so crispy on the outside. It's just like a protective shell of that gooey, delicious, chewy middle. So good. It's perfectly cooked. The sugar around it just gives it a little extra flavor. I don't think you can go wrong with this cookie. This is absolutely delicious. I definitely recommend making this, and I'll see you guys in my next video.